And now I'll tell you how Robin Hood met his right-hand man, Little John. Up rose Robin Hood one merry morn, when all the birds were singing among the leaves, and up rose all his merry men, each fellow washing his head and hands in the cold brown brook that leapt laughing from stone to stone. Then said Robin, "For 14 days we have seen no sport. Now I will go abroad to seek adventures forthwith. But tarry ye, my merry men all, here in the greenwood. Only see that ye mind well my call. 3 blasts upon the bugle horn, and I will blow in my hour of need. Then come quickly, for I shall want your aid." So saying, he strode away from the leafy forest glade until he came to the verge of Sherwood. There he wandered for a long time, through highway and byway, through singing dell and forest skirts. Now he met a fair buxom lass in a shady lane. Each gave each other a merry word, and passed their way. Now he saw a fair lady upon an ambling pad, to whom he doffed his cap, who bowed sedately in return to the fair youth. Now he saw a fat monk and now a gallant knight, with spear and shield and armor that flashed brightly in the sunlight. Now a page clad in crimson, now a stout burgher from good Nottingham town. All these sights he saw, but adventures he found none. At last he took a road by the forest skirts, a bypath that dipped toward a broad, pebbly stream, spanned by a narrow bridge made of log and wood. As he drew nigh this bridge, he saw a tall stranger coming from the other side. Thereupon Robin quickened his pace, as did the stranger likewise, each thinking to cross first. "Now stand thou back," quoth Robin, "and let the better man cross first." "Nay," answered the stranger. "Then stand back thine own self, for the better man, I know, am I." "That we will presently see," quoth Robin, "and meanwhile stand where thou art, or else I will show thee right good Nottingham play, a cloth-yard shaft betwixt thy ribs." "Now," quoth the stranger, "I will tan thy hide till it be as many colors as a beggar's cloak, if thou darest so much as touch a string of that same bow that thou holdest in thy hand." "Thou pratest like an ass," said Robin, "for I could send this shaft clean through thy proud heart before a curdled friar say grace over a roast at Michaelmas tide." "Thou pratest like a coward," answered the stranger, "for thou standest here with a good yew bow to shoot at my heart, while I have not in my hand but a plain black thorn staff therewith to meet thee." "Now," quoth Robin, "by the faith of my heart, I have never had a coward's name in all my life before. I'll lay by my trusty bow and also my arrows, if thou darest abide my coming, and I will go and cut a staff to test my manhood withal." "Ay, marry, and I will abide thy coming, and joyously too," quoth the stranger, whereupon he leaned sturdily upon his staff to wait Robin. Then Robin Hood stepped quickly to the cover side and cut a good staff of a round oak, straight, without flaw, and 6 feet in length, and came back, trimming away the tender stems from it, while the stranger waited for him, leaning upon his staff, and whistling as he gazed around about. Robin observed him as he trimmed his staff, measuring him from top to toe out of the corner of his eye, and thought that he had never seen a lustier or stoutier man. Tall was Robin, but taller was the stranger by a head and a neck, for he was 7 feet in height. Broad was Robin across his shoulders, but broader was the stranger by twice the breadth of a palm, and he measured at least 45 inches around the waist. "Nevertheless," said Robin to himself, "I'll baste thy hide right merrily, my good fellow." And he said aloud, "Lo, here is my good staff, lusty and tough. Now, wait my coming, and thou darest and meet me, and thou fearest not, then we will fight until one of us tumble into the stream by dint of blows." "Marry, that meeteth my whole heart," cried the stranger, twirling his staff about his head betwixt his fingers and thumb. Never did the knights of the Round Table meet in a stouter fight than did these two. In a moment Robin stepped quickly upon the bridge where the stranger stood. First he made a feint and delivered a blow at the stranger's head that, had he met its mark, he would have tumbled him speedily into the water. But the stranger turned the blow right deftly, and return gave one as stout, which Robin also turned as the stranger had done. So they stood, each in his place, neither moving a finger's breadth back, for 1 good hour. And many blows were given and received, each at that time, till there were sore bones and bumps, yet neither thought of crying. Enough, for it seemed likely that one would fall off the bridge. Now and then they stopped to rest, and each thought that he had never seen in all his life before such a hand at the quarterstaff. At last Robin gave the stranger a blow upon the ribs that made his jacket smoke like the damp straw thatch in the sun. So shrewd was the stroke that the stranger came within a hair's breadth of falling off the bridge, but he regained himself right quickly, and by a blow gave Robin a crack on the crown that caused his blood to flow. Then Robin grew mad with anger, and smote with all his might at the other. But the stranger warded the blow, and once again thwacked Robin. And this time he thwacked so fairly that Robin fell heels over into the water, as a queen pin falls in a game of bowls. "And where art thou, good lad?" shouted the stranger, roaring with laughter. "Oh, in the flood and floating down with the tide," cried Robin, for he could not forbear laughing himself at his sorry plight. Then, regaining his feet, he waded to the bank, and little fish spitting hither and thither, all frightened at his great splashing. "Give me thy hand," cried he, and when he reached the bank. "I must needs own thou art a brave and sturdy soul, and withal a good stout stroke with the quarterstaff. By this and by that, my head hummeth like to a hive of bees in a hot June morning." Then he clapped his horn to his lips, and winded a blast that went echoing sweetly down the forest path. "Ay, marry," quoth he again, "thou art a tall lad, and also a brave one, for never, I believe, there was a man betwixt here and Canterbury town that could do the like to me that thou hast done." "And thou," quoth the stranger, laughing, "takest thy beating like a brave heart and a stout yeoman." But now the distant twigs and branches rustled with the coming of men, and suddenly a score or two of good stout yeomen, all clad in Lincoln green, burst out from the covert, with merry Will Sutley at their head. "Good master," cried Will, "how's this? Surely thou art all wet from head to foot, and that to the very skin." "Why, marry," answered jolly Robin, "yon stout fellow hath tumbled me neck and crop into the water, and hath given me a drubbing beside." "Then he shall not go without a ducking himself," cried Will Sutley. "Have at him, lads." Then Will and a score of yeomen leaped upon the stranger, but though they sprang quickly, they found him ready and felt him strike right and left with a stout staff, so that, though he went down with a press of numbers, some of them rubbed cracked crowns before he was overcame. "Nay, forbear," cried Robin, laughing till his sore sides ached again. "He's a right good man and true, and no harm shall befall him. Now hark ye, good youth, wilt thou stay with me and be one of my band? 3 suits of Lincoln green thou shalt have each year, besides 40 marks in fee, and share with us whatever good shall befall us. Thou shalt eat venison, and quaff the stoutest ale, and mine own right-hand man thou shalt be, for never did I see such a quarterstaff player in all my life before. Speak, wilt thou be one of my good merry men?"